Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew.
And William here from Allegory Gallery. How's everyone doing?
We're actually at our house.
We are.
We're not at the store.
No.
But we will be soon. Or William will be.
I will be soon. Yeah, it's almost Small Business Saturday.
1 hour to go.
We're excited. We're always excited for this day. It's a good day usually in town.
I think it's a nice celebration of hard work and the decisions we make in life, We have a choice of what is precious to us and what we want to protect and save and see keep going.
It's true.
So I love Small Business Saturday.
So we have a few people out there watching. If you're out there, please say hello. We see the numbers going up. So we see people out there. There's Denise out there watching. And who else is out there?
That's Hannah.
Hannah is out there with us. Thank you for joining us. So we have some things to show you.
Lots of things.
Lots of things.
Tell them about the sales first.
Okay. So if you missed the live this morning, we are doing sales in-store and kind of online. So we have in-store, if you're local, we have 15% off everything. No exceptions.
Holy guacamole.
No exclusions. Everything 15% off in-store through Cyber Monday. So this is through Cyber Monday. This is Small Business Saturday, then Sunday, and then Cyber Monday. And so you can get that 15% off. Now, if you're not local and you're ordering online at allegorygallery.com, we are giving you a free mystery inspiration kit with every order, limited to 1 per customer. So you can't make like 10 $5 orders and get 10 kits.
You can still do it. You'll just still only get 1.
You'll still get 1 kit. But we already did the 15% off for the TGBE, and we thought, okay, well, most people probably got what they wanted that way there. So this is a way to give you kind of an added bonus for anything you need to order.
We did add more stuff to the online store.
Yes. We're constantly adding
every day, sometimes many times a day.
So make sure you're checking that out. And scroll back even through our Facebook posts. There's a lot of posts talking about what we've been adding lately.
It's true.
And then also in the online store, we have over $100 to US. If you're shipping to a US address, if you're over $100, we're still giving you that free shipping as well, like we did in the TGBE.
It's true. Hannah says, you're up so late. We're not, though.
This is early for us.
This is like the time. We're on late.
Yes.
Usually we're on at 5.
Yeah, there it is.
But because it's Small Business Saturday, we're on at 11. I still don't know where the camera is.
Right there.
There you go. He's like, I'll show you.
11.
Let me show you. But yeah, so I always like to do something special for Small Business Saturday, and you never know what it's going to be. Sometimes I'll make pendants. I was going to debut a bunch of pendants that we cut on the laser, but we were having issues with the laser. Luckily, William fixed it.
We found the problem.
Hallelujah.
It was, there's a bar that goes across that actually controls the laser, and one side was rickety. Can't see rickety. So this side would pull and this side would leave behind.
It's like my face. But anyway, so it looked like it was drunk. Like it could cut anything except for circles. And if there was a circles, which is 95% of what we do.
We make,
then they look like a drunk 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this.
I'm no artist, and I probably could have drawn a better circle.
You could do it. Let's see. I see a couple of folks out there. I see Julie. Hey, Julie. Hey, Judy. Hey, Diane. Hey, Karen. Hey, Sarah. It's like, what's that show? Rompus Room? Where they look into the telescope, or Captain Kangaroo?
Captain Kangaroo, I think, had a telescope.
And then they're like, I see Timmy.
I only had a Captain Kangaroo record, though. I never actually saw the show.
I didn't see until later, because I'm not that old for that. Because that was on what, in the 60s?
60s or 70s. But
can't
I had a
remember.
record of Captain Kangaroo.
Somebody
was
made
it.
a sad face.
Oh no, what's so
Oh,
sad?
for the laser, or
Oh, maybe
because
that.
we didn't watch the original Captain Kangaroo.
Denise says it was Romper Room.
Oh, there you go.
I don't even know that one.
It's basically the same thing.
Okay. I don't know what either of them were really, so.
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Teresa,
maybe we should start doing our lives at 11.
I would be more awake. I'd probably be on more.
We'll just do 2 lives a day, one at 5 and one at 11, me and then Andrew. What about that, y'all?
Double
Andrew's
trouble.
Like, I'm not sure about that.
Double trouble. I don't know about that. Oh, see, y'all watched it. Y'all know what it is. Anyway, so I try to do something special every year for Small Business Saturday. And this year I did a series of paintings.
You did. We have them over here.
And I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not traditionally a landscape painter. Sometimes there are landscapes in the paintings that I paint, but I'm not like, I don't like go out and paint landscapes. And I started these actually rewind just before the pandemic, actually. So I took these to Tucson, and in the evening times I'd be like falling asleep while I was doing some of the painting and collage work on some of them. And then, then we were forced to shut down a couple weeks later, and like my eye is twitching. I'm like, what's happening here? That don't look good.
My eyes are red.
But anyway, so what was I saying?
Tucson, pandemic.
So we were forced to shut down, and then we just kind of had to hustle. So there wasn't really much time to paint, at least not for that. Like, I kind of had to focus on the business. And
yeah, the only painting you did was like a tutorial or a demo.
Yeah, so I did a couple things here and there, but not
a series.
Not anything seriously a serious series. So anyways, so I have these all started to go, and at first they were the idea of kind of all the places I wanted to go that I couldn't go, and then it became something more about the idea of like this imaginary landscape, and it became less about the things I didn't have as much as the things I do have, if that makes sense. Because there are those ideas and those kinds of mental landscapes that are with you forever, kind of. And I feel like when you look at these paintings, you'll see things and you might recognize some things. There's nothing that's like made off of something exactly, but there are like little references. So you'll see things like some of the hills and the mountains from Tucson, and some of them are from where we used to live out in Bolivar, our view from the window. And then some are completely made up. So anyways, let's flip this around.
Flip it around.
Well, somebody says I look tired. Well, I can't see you, so I can't say what you look like.
I'm actually the tired one.
I know. I'm the one that's awake.
He's wide awake, everybody.
My eye is a little bit twitchy, though.
Okay, what do you want to start with? The littles?
Yeah.
Start with the littles?
All right.
I'm going to put this up here. Now, these are going to be available. They're all available right now at allegorygallery.com. And we're going to start with the little landscapes.
Yeah, this is Little Landscape 1. So this is partially collage and painting. And so the background technique I've demoed before, and I've talked a little bit about this before about using salt. I thought I was really brilliant one year about coming up with this idea, but apparently it's a technique that a lot of watercolorists use. But, anyways, one winter I was shoveling the sidewalk and there was salt, and the way that it had kind of dried out, it created these like this mottled effect. And I was like, well, I wonder if I could do that with paint. So a lot of the backgrounds they start off using this technique, and so what happens is I do a wash of color and do a bunch of different color blockings with paint and make it really washy with um, different colors and things like that. And then I sprinkle salt on it and let it dry naturally. And what happens is the salt soaks up the pigments and it creates that kind of mottled effect. And then once everything is dry, then I sand off and remove all the salt and then do a couple coats of a sealant and then paint on top of that. So this is Little Landscape number 1, and it is uh, $45. And these are all available in the online store.
4x4 on wood.
Yeah. And they're not solid blocks of wood, but they are so if you wanted to prop them up, they could stand up, but they're designed to kind of hang on the wall. Here is Little Landscapes number 2. This one is also 45. It's also a collage on wood with acrylic paint with some metallic paint pigments.
And again, these are all available at allegorygallery.com at the very top of the homepage.
Here's another one, Little Landscape number 3. And yeah, so I like that mottled effect. And it's kind of and this is you can kind of see it here, but I remember being out in San Francisco. What was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I can't remember. It all blends together. But I was out there, and there were some wildfires outside of the town, and some horrific wildfires, and it was terrible. But the sky was just so beautiful, um, even though it was caught, a disaster, basically. There were some really beautiful sunsets and sunrises, and the sky would sometimes be this beautiful, brilliant orange with shocks of gold and ochre, and so the clouds were this such an unusual, almost vibrant orange yellow color. And so some of the clouds in these little paintings have that kind of effect.
I like this one a lot.
Oh,
Out
thanks.
of the little ones,
This is
one.
what is this? Little Landscape 3?
3 and 5, I think, are my favorites.
Oh,
3 and 5 of the little landscapes, anyway.
all right. Punch it.
Punch it. That
All
means
right.
get going.
This is Little Landscapes number 4. And it is also $45. It kind of has that and I've been drawn a lot to the mountains. I think when I grew up out in Florida, everything was so flat. So anything with any kind of elevation was like so exciting to me. And I remember I want to say maybe it's Lakeland or something. There was a big hill, and it might have actually been an artificial hill from people piling up trash and then the grass growing over it. But anyways, there's a big hill in Florida, and I used to get so excited when we would drive by it because everything else was so flat. And so I'm drawn to that mountain energy. All right.
Okay. Number 4. And coming up, then my other favorite little landscape, number 5.
Yeah, so and one of the things that's really exciting to me are the different types of mountains and how they have different characteristics. Like the Appalachian Mountains are much more worn down. And it's interesting to think about it because they said that that's one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. And that it was a mountain range even in the Pangea time when all the continents were hooked together, and then when it broke apart, um, you know, it was most of it was in the U.S. and so you have the young mountains like the Rocky Mountains, and they are a lot like steeper and higher and stuff. But there's something kind of wonderful and magical about the Appalachian Mountains, which kind of, even though I'm up in Pennsylvania, we're hitting like the tail end of them. So they go all the way down into the Smoky Mountains over in Asheville, and so it's kind of wild that even though we're, hundreds of miles apart, there's that sort of connection. I see Judy says you can't beat for beauty in the rolling hills of Pennsylvania. Yeah, I mean, Pennsylvania, I feel like we're really lucky to live in such a beautiful place that's such immersed in a lot of natural beauty. I feel really fortunate. I had never really spent much time before we moved here. And so it's been a really wonderful thing to kind of explore the landscapes here. And for a while, we were making day trips to go out for different hikes and go explore the little towns around here. And so this is little landscape number 5.
I love those rusty reds and oranges. I like it. I like it a lot. And number 6.
Number 6. This kind of has a little bit of a desert vibe, a little bit. Sand dunes. Sandra said, yes, Florida is so flat. I love it when I travel. Diane says, I have a view of the Superstition Mountains here in Arizona. I never take for granted the beauty and mystery of this place. Yeah, and there's such different mountains. In Arizona, I spend a lot of time in Tucson, and Tucson is surrounded by different mountain ranges. So you have the Tucson Mountains, the Rincon Mountains, and the Catalina Mountains. And then if you go further south, there are mountains down there. But they're so different, and each one of them has its own kind of characteristics. And I'm listening to a book on tape, or audiobook, not book on tape, audiobook. And the audiobook is called The Wildwoods by Charles DeLint. And he talks about Tucson and the Rincon Mountains and going out there. And I could perfectly visualize it because it was, because I've been there and I can sense that kind of magical realism that he was talking about in the book. And now I want to go to Canada where the rest of the book takes place, but we'll save that for another day. All right, so that was number 6. And I'm just going to show them all to you like this because I think those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Collect them all, everyone.
Like Pokemon. I think that looks cool, yo. Wow. I impressed myself, and that's hard. All right.
Okay.
What's next?
Do this one?
Sure.
Let me find it here.
All right. So this one is called Grasslands. And at first, it kind of is deceptive how simple it is, because it looks like a green kind of childlike landscape and a blue sky. But then if you look closer, you can see all I painted in each blade of grass pretty much. But for me, I kind of like that, the landscapes where you can't necessarily tell if it's an abstract painting or if it is representational work. Like some of my favorite abstract painters are like Mark Rothko, who did kind of those color field paintings where he would block off different sections of the canvas and would have these blocks of colors. And the color, it's very color theory oriented, where the colors would almost radiate. And so for me, I'm definitely interested more than just capturing something exactly the way it is, because a lot of these things come from my imagination anyway. But also, I want to, um, kind of create a visual composition that's more than just representational. So this is Grasslands, and it is 250. And how big is this, William?
6 by 8, I believe. 6 by 8.
8, 6 by 8. So there you go. This is Grasslands. All right, what's this one? Night River. So this is a little one, and I kind of thought about it looking at something from far away. So there's a river, but I also wanted to capture those kind of lights along like the cityscape along the river. So there's tiny little flecks of yellow lights and red lights and kind of like a mountain with a river and a night sky.
That's one of my favorites.
He says, well, there you go. So yeah. So this one is Night River, and it's 110 for this one.
And remember, any of these over $100, you're going to get free shipping on in the online store through Monday.
And that's a good deal. All right, punch it.
All right, let's flip this one to
Nomad Moon is the name of this one. And this is another one that's kind of deceptively simple in the sense that there's like ground and sky. But I painted each one of these little rocks in this kind of desert landscape. And I feel like there's something kind of, I don't know, almost alien about the desert. I remember flying over, I think we were in Albuquerque, or maybe it was Tucson, but we were flying over about to land, and I was coming from the northeast, and everything was green and lush, and there was lots of trees, and we were coming out to the desert, and everything was so stark and it seemed like barren. And it's interesting how you kind of have those perceptions and think that everything is kind of barren and dead, but then you get closer and then you see that things have kind of adapted to the different climates. And so there's a quote that kind of rings through my mind often, and it's that all things need optimal conditions to thrive. And I kind of feel like that sometimes, but also I feel like there's this kind of magic of the evolution of how things have survived some of the harshest and most demanding of climates. And so, like when we go out to the bogs, there are pitcher plants and there are carnivorous plants that kind of evolved to live in those low nitrogen uh, landscapes. And it's interesting how those things, where everything else would have died and rotted and become, would not have survived. And those thrive there. Anyway, so this is Nomad Moon, and this is kind of a desert vibe to it. And this one is 110.
This looks like you could touch the rocks. The rocks are very three-dimensional looking.
Thanks. I tried hard.
You did good.
All right.
All right. Next one up. Let's flip this.
Somebody said it looked like a moonscape. Yeah, I could see that.
It looks otherworldly.
And that's the kind of way that it looks in the desert, you know. It has that very Mars-like vibe to it. This one is called Lost Cove. And one of my favorite things when we went out to San Francisco was when we left San Francisco and went a little bit south to a place called Montera. And so we would drive down was it US 1? I don't know. Oh, no, the 101. 101. I'm thinking of in Florida, there's US 1. So the 101 goes along the coast there. And there's, you know, you have to pay attention because you don't pay attention for 1 second, you're going off a cliff. But there are these really wonderful kind of rocky outlets and jutting kind of rock structures, and you can climb down, and at the bottom there are tide pools. And so I really was fascinated. I'm totally fascinated by those in-between spaces. So you'll notice a lot of things that are where the sky meets the earth, and you'll see things where the water meets the land. Those liminal in-between spaces where in between dreaming and consciousness, and all those little in-between spaces are where I think the myths and magic and all the little things happen, is where you're not quite awake and where you're kind of in that still dream state. So this is called Lost Cove, and it's kind of a beachy, rocky beach scene. And this is a $250 for this painting, and this is another
6x8.
6x8. Diane says, there's nothing better than sitting out in the desert and listening to it tell its story. ESP at night with the star show. Yeah, I feel really lucky to live where I do because we're in a very pristine area where there isn't a ton of light pollution. So there are some amazing stargazing possibilities out here. You know, directly in town where we live now, it's a little bit changing because, you know, people are putting lights up and different things like that. But if you go out just a little piece, the sky really opens up and it becomes a cradle of stars. And I just love to live out here and see that. And also go to places where you can see those stars. All right, so this one is...
Talk about dreaming.
I know, Island of Dreaming. Oh, maybe. I don't think so. That just kind of happened. So this is the first in the series that I kind of worked on. And it's a lot looser than my normal kind of style. I have a thing where I just noodle around with stuff, and it's hard for me to kind of stop. If can you pull up Grasslands again? Like with Grasslands, I literally painted every single blade of grass. And then with this one, it's much more gestural. And I shared this picture of this piece to kind of talk about starting this series. And you know, it's a little bit different for me, but I feel good about it. It's like a nice kind of it's very restful, and I like that kind of those washing kind of colors and those looser brush strokes. And if only I could control that all the time, but I don't know. I guess I have to do some and then like walk away. But so this one is called Island of Dreaming, and it is $250 as well. I don't remember what this one's called. Hidden. Oh. All right. So this one is called Hidden Vista. And it kind of reminds me, there is a place that you can go just outside of Asheville called Craggy Gardens. And when you drive up, it's a little bit harrowing, you know. There's a lot of twisty turns and kind of scary drops, but once you get up there, you get this amazing view, and the mountains look almost like they're a flock. They look so soft and plush because you're such a far distance away from them that the leaves on the trees almost look like velvet, and like a crushed velvet. So I tried to capture that in this one. And so this is Lost Vista, and it is Hidden Vista, and it's $220 for this one. All right. And this one is a little bit, again, kind of abstracted. A lot of them are, you know, I'm not like Thomas Kincaid or Bob Ross or I can respect their landscape abilities, but I don't really consider myself a landscape painter. Mostly more of like I'm trying to convey like the emotion and the resonance of a place or a memory, um, and so that's where these kind of come from. And so this one is called Twilight Mountain, and um, depending on what time of day that you look at the mountains, they can take on very different kind of colors and hues. And there's these rich purples, and when they talk about Purple Mountain Majesty, they're not joking. That takes up the color of the sky and reflects it and turns into these washes of Concord purple and dreamy kind of lavenders and even shocking little electric blue and little bits of kind of an inky velvety black that's just there are certain colors that you just don't see all the time, and depending on the time of day, those colors can change so dramatically. So this one is called Twilight Moon, and it is Twilight Mountain. I'm getting wild. $250 for this one as well.
We're all getting wild today.
All right.
Next one up is, where are you? Where are you? There you are.
Garden Gate. This is one of my more noodly ones. And people be like, what? He's going to be calling his stuff noodly. But it is one of those ones that, I feel like there's sometimes they just get into the thing where I want to paint every blade of grass and every rock and every wall. And so I've been reading or listening to a bunch of book on tapes or audiobooks, and there's a couple of different ones where they were talking about being in this walled garden. And so I have this crazy fascination with walls, and again those kind of in between places, like where you're allowed and where you're not allowed. And so these ones, so there's a little gate off into the back, and there's trees and clouds and all that. Sandra says, are these on sale in the store as well? They aren't coming up when you check out. I wasn't sure. Great price either way. They are in the online store right now.
Should be right on the homepage.
So if you go to allegorygallery.com, hey, that looks good.
At the very top, original art by Andrew Thornton.
They look good when they're miniature like that from far away. I'm like, whoa, did I do that? And it's funny because I like rainbows also, and from far away they kind of make a rainbow. And so anyway, so this one is Garden Gate, and it is $240 for this one. Now these are all painted on cradled wood panels. And so that means that they've got the stretcher bars, and then there's a panel on top. So this one is called Here on Earth, and it's another kind of twilighty scene. I'm really fascinated. If you've gotten any of my other paintings or have been following along with my work, you've probably noticed this continued motif of a starry sky. And it's in a lot of my work from when I was very young to now. And so this sky is just dotted and speckled with stars. And yeah, so you have a very kind of primordial Jurassic kind of mountain range off into the back, and then a kind of a calm sea that reflects the sky. And when I always think about how wonderful it would be to go, for example, and dig for fossils and ammonites and things like that. And so, this is what I kind of imagine that would be like. All right, so this is Here on Earth. Is this the last one of the landscapes?
Yep.
Yeah. So, this is $250 for this one. For Here on Earth. Now, a couple weeks ago, I started a demo, and so I showed this process of painting, and I think it was our takeover day that I did this.
It might have been.
I think this was the takeover in the Great Bead Extravaganza. I showed the start of this painting. And speaking of liminal spaces and in between things, I love the idea of mermaids because they're both of the land and of the sea. And so you'll see that is also a recurring theme in my work. And so I started this kind of octopus lady. And this one is 125, and it's called the Defender. And I kind of feel like octopuses, if they could spear us with tritons, they probably would.
Probably.
You know,
we deserve it in some cases.
I like that movie, or that is it a movie or show? My friend, my octopus teacher friend, or whatever.
It was a documentary.
Well, it was good. It was really sad though. So
I don't think I watched it.
Well, I did. My friend the octopus or whatever.
But I like octopus.
I know, we're vegetarian now, but I never wanted to eat octopus before, even though it was delicious, because they're so smart. And
I think the UK just classified them as sentient.
Yeah, I would believe it.
Crabs, octopus, and something else. I think it was the UK.
Well, there was I don't know about y'all, but I love kind of like animal things, and so there was this film or footage from the aquarium, and I can't remember which aquarium it was, but the octopus would sneak out of its enclosure and its tank, and then eat the food in the other aquariums, and then go back to its own. And it would
some of the fish in the other aquariums.
Oh yeah. Wow.
They were missing some fish and wondering why.
And where they went. Well, it was hungry, you know. Right. I feel that. Anyway, so this one is also available. This is part of a series of these kind of mermaid creatures. I had this intention that I was going to make I was going to do some for mermaids this past year, but I only got 3 done out of the 30 or something.
30 days.
Wow. And I was like, wow, I got 3 done. Wow. So those, some of those have sold, but there are 2 left from the original bunch. And then we just added this one. I did add a different finish to this one. I added a gloss finish to this one as a sealer, just to see if I like it. You know, and the jury's out. I like matte surfaces for a lot of my paintings because
You
I
like matte and everything, even your prints.
I know. So
I'm always like, do the glossy. He's like, no, we're doing the matte.
well,
See,
this is glossy.
It is. I like it.
It's different. Anyways, there you go. So that's it for the ones that we're gonna add tonight. And those are the ones that we've got available for Small Business Saturday. I wanted to do something special. And those are my special pieces.
And I will be taking these into the store tomorrow to show during Small Business Saturday. So if you see anything here you like, I would grab it.
Because it might sell.
It might sell during the day tomorrow. You're getting a sneak peek late tonight.
Yeah, if you're up. I know some people like go to bed at like my sister Sheila, she goes to bed like 9 o'clock.
8:30, 9.
We were all hanging out during the wedding, and she was like getting sleepy eyed. And it was like 7:30, and I was like, "It's not even nighttime yet." And she was like, "We go to bed early."
They get up early though too.
Yeah, they do. But so like that's when we talk. When we message is like at 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's when we cross paths. Our schedules overlap because I'm a creature of the night and she's a creature of the day. Anyways, let's flip this around.
There we are.
Howdy. So I've been working my little keister off trying to get ready for Small Business Saturday. And you know, you never know what people will want. You know, sometimes I try to do pendants, or sometimes I try to do jewelry or finished stuff. And this year I decided to do paintings, and hopefully all of you out there will enjoy them. And if not, then I guess I'll have a lot of landscapes. So, oh well, I'm not mad at that.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you all, if you celebrated Thanksgiving, had a restful and successful holiday and avoided whatever kind of kerfluffle that you might have had. We're no lucky. Drama. We don't have too much drama. In the family homestead style. So we had a good meal, and hopefully you all had a good meal as well.
We played Mario Monopoly and ate good.
I know. I came in third place.
You came in third, yeah.
That's because I gave up.
You could have hung out a little longer.
I could have probably gotten second, edged out that 7-year-old
nephew, right?
But, you know, I thought I saw the writing on the wall that my sister-in-law was gonna win. So instead of prolonging it,
she had all but one property.
In the end,
she had it in the end.
Did she? Wow,
she won.
Do you get all of the cards when you're done?
No, but you had to hand them over to pay your dues.
I guess I could have mortgaged everything.
You did. And then she bought them from you mortgaged.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right.
I don't remember, so that's convenient. Yeah, so anyways, we hope you had a good time, and we'll maybe see you tomorrow.
I'll probably do maybe some stories or something, quick things throughout the day. I don't know if we'll do any full lives. I'm hoping not to have any time. I'm hoping
hopefully it's busy because we got bills to pay. He took the car. Did you tell them about this?
What?
About taking the cars in? So we had to take the cars in for inspections, and they're like, okay, so the tires are good, but you're going to have to get new tires fairly soon.
And we're getting rumbly. So I had them check the muffler, and the muffler is not leaking, but there are some things, maybe they said ballast loose, that we might want to replace the muffler.
It looks like it needs it now.
But they said it's not leaking yet, so that's good.
Well, anyway.
But it is loud.
It is louder. Yeah, and he thought I was playing because I was like, the car's getting loud, but he doesn't drive it. I drive.
I drive the quieter car, so I thought maybe you're just used to the quiet. And then I got it in
No.
today, and I was like,
It's not as bad as some of our cars.
we've had worse.
We had a car once where it was so rusted you could see the road underneath because there were patches where there were holes in the floor, and you could. I was like, don't drop
Well, we
anything.
completely pretty much lost the muffler on one of our cars too.
That's true, and you always knew when we were showing up to anything.
I was so embarrassed to drive around.
Well, not only that, but I was scared to drive some of our cars because they wouldn't go up the hill, and so they would die going up the hill.
Well, the one car had a leaking gas tank, so when you would go up a hill, the gas would start to leak out, so you'd lose tons of gas going up a hill. That was the red Toyota. I think that's the one with the same muffler problem too.
Well, you can't complain about that too much.
No,
but we had one where it would start sliding back if you were on a hill. So it felt like I was driving like a manual, but it was automatic. You know how sometimes when you're like in between shifting gears, I'm just making this stuff up because I can't actually.
When you engage the clutch,
yeah,
the car rolls backwards.
So it was like that, except an automatic. And so it was always a little bit like people would get a little bit nervous when they would drive with me. Yeah. Like I picked up one of my friends, Hayden, in Pittsburgh. She came and visited us one time.
Took her up a nice cobblestone road.
And this is before like GPS. So we had MapQuest directions, and it took us like the first road in Pittsburgh. There was like a wood road, and it was like 45 degrees angled down.
I think it's known as one of the U.S.'s most steep roads.
Well, it took us down that one. And there was this random child who saw us and was like wandering towards the car. And I was like, I don't have good brakes. Back up. I rolled down the window. I said, get out the road. You're going to get hit.
Andrew's not afraid to yell out a window.
No. not even back then. But the kid, it was like he was like transfixed. He probably had never seen a car actually go down that road before. And was like, what are they doing trying to go down this road? And so it was like cobblestone and probably like wooden. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's like that ghost road where the kids like push the car or whatever.
Maybe it was a ghost kid.
Well, I would not be surprised because that kid looked a little bit dazed. Like there's something was different. So yeah.
I don't know how we got on that topic.
Because the
cars.
That was our
inspections
Jeep
today. Yeah.
Well, the Jeep was a 2-wheel drive, and so all of the Jeeps up here are like 4-wheel drive. And
I didn't even know they made 2-wheel drive Jeeps.
Well, we got it in Florida. Speaking of flatlands, and so the mechanics would be like, it's 2-wheel drive.
Had to order special parts, special service.
No, but they would get. I almost was delighted by having it because they would they'd call up their friends to come and see it too.
They'd never seen one either.
They're like, you got to see this. This is something different. And it's like, whoa. But you know what? Of all the cars I've ever had, that's the one that people would stop me at like the gas station and offer me cash for. They'd be like, I want to buy your car.
Like, it's on its third engine, right?
And I was like, well, I'm currently driving it, but maybe. And then I would be like pumping gas and people were like, I want to buy your car. And I was like, okay. But I guess our friend Lena, she has a Jeep or used to have one. And she said the reason why people are so interested in it is because it's one of the last cars that's mostly mechanical. So like there's not a whole lot of like the computer stuff. I mean, I guess it did have like old time computer inside.
Yeah, it had a small, but not that controlled everything. And
yeah, it wouldn't like talk to you and like ask you how you're feeling. Like Knight Rider style. Nowadays it's kind of like that in some of the cars. Like our version of our minivan, whenever we go and drive out to Tucson, we usually get a minivan that's like ours. And but the nicer, I shouldn't say the nicer, the more
The spendier version.
How do you call that? Like maxed out? Like there's like lights in the glove compartments and stuff, and like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if like some kind of robot came out and like rubbed your feet while you're driving.
That would be nice.
But
maybe not while you're driving.
Well,
that put me to sleep.
I did bring my little. There's this little thing that I put behind my back, and it like massages my back because after driving for 8 hours, you get kind of stiff. So, anyways,
we're ranting.
People are like, "What's happening?" This is what happens at 11 when you watch the lives at 11.
If you're just tuning in, we're done. We're just chatting. You missed it. Watch the replay.
Yeah.
All of Andrew's newest artwork just debuting tonight and available in the online store at Allegory Gallery. Let me pop that up. I didn't put that one up there today.
Do it.
Let's do that. You can go there. Get all of Andrew's latest artwork, his landscape series.
Yeah. I tried hard, so hopefully you all enjoy it. We'll try to make throughout the weekend and the week ahead. I mean, we're getting kind of closer to the holidays, so we're gonna keep posting things online, and we're gonna keep kind of hustling. We got some big bills coming up, so we gotta make that money, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we gotta do. He gets stressed out about it, and that's not necessarily conducive to my brain thinking, but anyways, I'm not going to say anything more about that because I'm going to get in trouble. Anything. He knows better.
I'm not going to say anything.
He knows better because then we're going to be fighting about it after we go on the live. So anyway,
no fighting.
Y'all don't want to see that and be like,
maybe and they do.
Tell me more about how you feel about like this. What movie you were watching yesterday?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but at one point...
Did we watch something yesterday? I don't know. We came back from the Thanksgiving and my belly was full, and I don't remember anything after that, honestly.
Well, anyways, there was some kind of something where they said something, and one of the people were like... and it was like, I know that look. That's my look.
That's the
my
danger
eyes.
Look.
It's the danger look. The real danger is when my lips retract. That's when you know you're in trouble. It's like a snake ready to bite. My lips are dry now. I was gonna try to attempt to do that, but it would be unnatural, and therefore there's not that natural.
The muscles only engage when he's upset.
And it's like a snake. My mom does it too.
Your sister does it too.
Well, even Azalea does it too. And I was like, whoa. We can't play poker because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to fight. Anyways, thank you so much. We are so grateful for all of you out there. We appreciate all of the love, especially on Small Business Saturday. Mm-hmm. We know you have a lot of options out there. And if you're like me, your email, it has like 50 million email.
Oh, I couldn't even get through mine today.
All these sales, and it's so tempting. So, yeah.
But thank you for shopping with us, for supporting us, for hitting that like, hitting that share, hitting that subscribe.
Yes, thank you.
You don't have to spend anything to support small businesses.
Yeah, I think a lot of times nowadays people feel like if you are trying to support a business that you have to, pay money and stuff.
Right.
And that's good,
Do it if you can.
Let's call a spade a spade. If you don't buy stuff, we go out of business.
Right.
But if you don't have the funds, or, you're not interested in what we've got, maybe you don't like landscapes, you'd be like, I'd pitch that in the fire, You could always share that to people who you might think would like it.
Right.
And
for everyone who doesn't have the money, there's someone out there who does.
Or the interest too, right, because sometimes, like I feel like sometimes I've got friends and they're like, well, I don't make jewelry. And it's like, do you know anybody who does? And they're like, well, my Aunt Karen does, and she makes lots of jewelry. And I said, well, did you tell your Aunt Karen about us yet? And they're like, oh, I didn't think about that. It's like, well, you want me to still like hang out with you and like be able to go out to dinner and stuff? Because otherwise it's gonna be like Desperation Station time.
That's true.
Anyways, y'all.
Anyway, thank you. And good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for Small Business Saturday. Like I said, I'll probably do a few stories on Instagram and Facebook, so stay tuned for that. For any new things, if we do get anything new out on the floor, depending on how busy it is, we'll be posting them there.
Yeah, and if people are interested, I might do maybe a painting demo tomorrow. So if you are interested,
show interest, everyone. Get them to do it.
Push the like button or the heart symbol.
Make some comments. Let them know.
Well, actually, I can't see because we're going through StreamYard, so I can't actually see if there's people liking and commenting.
This number will go up.
Will it?
Mm-hmm.
I see the sad sign go up. Oh, is it just collectively?
It's collectively, yes.
All right. Because I was like,
12 sads, 13 sads.
I was like, boy, y'all are awfully tired of my face.
Those numbers are going up, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we better
14.
go. Let these poor people go.
I'm at 15.
16.
There's no 16.
People watching.
Still watching.
That number's going to go down.
I know, it's like, what y'all got? You have stuff to do? All right.
Bye, everybody.